Hey everyone, the Conservative Party is facing some turbulence this week due to news that Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner plans to end the right to buy scheme, a policy introduced under Margaret Thatcher's government in the 1980s. Initially, the policy was quite popular, allowing council tenants to buy their homes at a discounted price, which provided them with an asset they could pass down to their children. How dare poor people pass assets down to their children? However, whilst it seemed like a win-win at the time, there was a major flaw in the plan, one that Rees-Mogg conveniently, as always, overlooked.
Welcome back to State of the Nation. Over time, socialists changed the badges on their lapels, their slogans, their colours and their flags. But one thing always remains the same. They climb up the ladder, but once they've reached the top, they pull it up after themselves. The latest example is, of course, Angela Rayner, the Housing Secretary, who infamously benefited from Lady Thatcher's policy of the right to buy. Miss Rayner is now reportedly drawing up plans to abandon the policy, so you can't. The right to buy policy embodies everything that is great about conservatism: the belief in social and economic mobility, the belief in home ownership, in wealth creation and prosperity. The policy gets to the heart of the distinction between Conservatives and Socialists. Conservatives want to create a pathway to prosperity, while Socialists want to keep poor people poor in the hope that they will be a captive vote. The proposed move to cancel the right to buy scheme comes from concerns that the council houses sold enter the private market, but they don't stop being houses. A report early this year from the left-wing New Economics Foundation lamented the fact that 40% of former council house homes sold under the scheme are now owned by private landlords. Quelle horror! But socialists also don't understand basic supply and demand. Property being in the private sector is a good thing. The housing crisis is caused by a lack of supply. We haven't built enough homes. More homes enter the rental market. This actually reduces rents and makes them more affordable. But this move also marks a signal that we're not witnessing the resurrection of new Labour, but rather old Labour, Jim Callaghan's Labour. And here is a glorious moment from the Thatcher years when she was up against old Labour.
Will the Prime Minister take time this afternoon to consider the plight of the hundreds of thousands of council tenants who've been encouraged by this government to buy their council house?
Mr. Speaker, as the honourable gentleman is very well aware, we put through a policy of purchasing council houses by their tenants, a policy which was bitterly opposed by the Labour Party, a policy from which many people...
Our favourite Brexiteer, Rees-Mogg, criticises Rayner, implying that those who benefit from policies like right to buy later turn their backs on others. Basically, those who become landlords and own their own homes look down on the people who also want to buy their own. I don't think it's true, is it, that they snub their noses at people who want to buy homes, but hey-ho. He paints a picture of socialists climbing up the ladder of opportunity only to pull it down after them once they've reached the top. Rees-Mogg claims that the policy embodies key conservative principles: social mobility, home ownership and wealth creation. In his view, Conservatives seek to build pathways to prosperity, while Socialists allegedly try to keep people dependent on the system for votes. The controversy over ending right to buy stems from concerns that many council homes sold under the scheme are now owned by private landlords who rent them out rather than keeping them in the hands of homeowners. A report from the New Economics Foundation noted that 40% of the homes sold through right to buy are now privately rented, which highlights how the housing crisis just isn't about supply and demand, but also about who controls housing. Rees-Mogg obviously dismisses these concerns, suggesting that increasing the number of homes in the rental market lowers rental prices. However, this overlooks how large investors and landlords have actually bought up significant numbers of homes in the first place, which artificially drives up housing costs. In fact, similar patterns are seen in places like Ireland, where a large portion of newly built homes are being purchased by investment funds and wealthy individuals, not first-time buyers. To be very clear on this, folks, whether Angela Rayner benefited from right to buy is completely irrelevant to whether the policy is good or not. What matters is whether the policy achieves its intended goals. If it fails, it should be reconsidered, shouldn't it, if it fails? The key issue is is that Thatcher's government instructed councils not to reinvest the money from sold properties into building new ones. This has now led, as we know, to a severe housing shortage. Now, if new homes are built, they should go to first-time buyers or people who intend to live in them, not to large investors or landlords looking to profit from rental income. But as always, I'm Jake from Just Jake. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And as always, leave a comment on the video. And as always, make love, not war. Because going to war is not how you become a landlord in this day and age. You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.